So welcome. I see a lot of familiar names here. So let me see. Hi, Gladys, BN, Gordon, Ihoon, Deborah, Kevin. Well, Kevin is very observant. Say like, I like Violet's new hairstyle. Thank you. And then we have Eileen. Hello, everybody. Welcome. So we are very happy to see you here again on a Thursday evening. It feels really great to be back. So how are you guys feeling? Let us know in the chat right now. How are you feeling today? Good. So amazing, fantastic. Let us know. So while your answers are coming in, I just want to let you know that my week has been really busy, and in fact today is like super long day because we have our management retreat. So usually our management retreat is always on a Thursday. So I think those of you who have joined us for a couple of times, you would have heard that I come here right after our management retreat. But of course, you know, with COVID, our management retreat is actually done over Zoom. I'm not sure about you guys. I'm starting to get a bit of Zoom fatigue. Are you getting Zoom fatigue as well? Let me know. Okay, so let's see. We have Gordon who say good, William say fine, Shalene say great, Bian say good, Kevin say great, Mattis good. Wow, everybody's feeling great. Awesome. Eileen say first time joining, feeling great. Yes, you're going to have an awesome time. Okay, so I think, you know, like at the end of the day, like even though there's just so many things happening around us, what I'm really thankful for is that, you know, like I'm still healthy, you know, everything is good. So I know for a lot of you guys are in different countries. I mean, like I'm based in Singapore right now, but you might be in Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Hong Kong. Let us know where are you from. Let us know in the chat right now. What country are you from? So wherever you are, I mean, like do remember to look after your health. I think ultimately that's the most important thing, right? And of course, if you have not get vaccinated, you know, do get vaccinated soon as well. Okay, let's see. We have Matthias from Malaysia, Kevin is from Singapore, Gladys is from Singapore. So I think those of you who are from Singapore, you know that recently we have you know, like increase of surges in cases again. So I know some of us are getting a bit concerned, but I think ultimately, you know, let's just continue to practice good hygienes. And even though we might feel a bit discouraged, I mean, I'm like, oh, you know, like can only go for one social outing a day. But I think at the end of the day, I think we are in a much better place as compared to last year. So I think that's definitely something to be thankful for. So let's really push through this, you know, like do our best. And of course, I think this is also a good time for us to focus on personal development and also the goals that we have set for the year. So I'm very happy to see so many of you who have joined us today. So, you know, I think it's important that we continue to use the time that we have to improve ourselves and to be the best version of ourselves. Okay, so since it's been a month since we last have our last webinar, I also want to just launch a quick poll to find out from everybody. Okay, let me find my poll. Yes. Okay, I'm going to launch it right now. Is this your first time joining the Lunch Actually webinar? So I think just now we have Eileen who say, yeah, I'm here for the first time. But of course, we see quite a number of familiar names as well. So let us know. The poll should be right in front of you and you just need to click and answer. Okay, almost half of the room have already participated. So if you have not, you know, do join in now because we want to hear from you. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to like stop the poll soon. Okay, so interesting. So today actually we have a lot of you who have joined us for at least one or more times. Okay, and in fact the one that is the highest so far are actually, I'm a fan, I always join whenever I can. Oh my goodness, so awesome. So about 30% of the room actually have been, you know, in more than like 4 of our webinars. And then we have like 26% of the room who say I've joined more than 3, and then we have 21% of the room who say I've joined 1 to 2, and 24% of the room who say I'm a newbie. Very interesting, because usually we have more newbies, but today we have a lot of you who have been with us for a while. Maybe it's because of the title of tonight's webinar. Maybe you can let us know what actually attracted you to join to tonight's webinar, because I think tonight the title is a bit different for from what we usually do. So anyway, we do have some newbies who have joined us. So I just want to share with you guys that the way that we do things here, you know, it's like a bit different from maybe regular webinars. We want it to be like very engaging. We want to be conversing with you. So we'll be having polls. We will be like asking you to answer questions or just share your thoughts on the chat. And of course, if you have any questions, you know, like pertaining to the topic that we are talking about today, you can also use the Q&A box. Okay, so I mean, any questions you can also ask us in the chat right now. Okay, so I just want to do a very quick intro of myself as well. So as you can see on the Zoom, my name is Violet. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Lunch Actually, which is the company which is hosting this webinar. And sometimes I'm also known as Chief Cupid. So I mean, a lot of people always ask me, why do I start a dating agency? Or sometimes they'll ask me, did I meet my boyfriend or husband through a dating agency? So I think my story is a bit different from maybe some of the people who usually start a dating service. I actually met my then boyfriend, now husband. We actually met at university, and that was how many years ago? Okay, I don't want to tell you, okay, because then you reveal my age. Okay, no, it's okay, I'll tell you. So that was like 21 years ago. So that was where we met. We met at university, and then I did a law degree, and then I did a master's, and then my first job was actually in a bank. So actually it was then I realized that a lot of my colleagues were single and not dating. So to me, that was like quite interesting because, you know, bankers being bankers, they're usually like work long hours, but at the same time, they're also eligible, attractive. You know, I thought like, hey, how come all these bankers are all single and not dating? So I realized, you know, like it's because the long hours, like they really don't have time to meet new people. So at the same time, I have quite a number of friends or colleagues who are all like getting married or getting engaged. And I realized that people who are getting married or engaged, chances are they met their other half at school, at university. So I mean, obviously, like I told you, that's what happened to me as well. So at about that time, I came across the concept of lunch dating, and I thought like, wow, you know, this makes a lot of sense. So that's why I decided to quit my job at the bank and started the company 17 years ago. Yes. So currently we are in a lot of different locations. So I think some of you are in all these locations as well, you know, like Singapore. Yeah, we have Gladys from Singapore, Kevin from Singapore, Matthias from Malaysia, and then we have Isana, who is from California. Wow, awesome. Okay, so the locations that we're in is Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Indonesia, and Thailand. And we are very happy to, you know, like have really sent up more than 150,000 first dates and have thousands and thousands of couples who have met through us, who are now either, you know, happily in a relationship or like they are married with kids as well. So other than matchmaking, okay, I think the next slide, please. So I think for us, right, the most important thing is really, we believe that when it comes to finding the right one, it's not just about meeting the right one, because that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people believe in that, and that's why, you know, they go for apps, they go for events. So we realized after being in the industry for so many years that of course meeting people is important. You know, it's important for you to have the opportunity to like widen your social circle, to meet someone new. But we realized that, you know, actually meeting is just one part of it, because if you think about it, if you keep meeting but then you don't end up like attracting the person that you like, or maybe you keep meeting people that they like you, they like you but you don't like them, it's not going to get anywhere as well, right? So that's why we realized that when it comes to finding the right one, it's really like a 3 steps approach. You know, the first step is really you have to be the right one so they can attract the person that you are interested in, and of course you need to meet the right one, but you also need to choose the right one as well. So this is really where our webinars come in. We actually started our webinar about last year, you know, when COVID first started, and we decided to continue because we want to help to equip our singers with the right mindset and right skill set. So this is really a way for us to pay it forward as well. So other than our matchmaking services, we also have coaching services. So actually tonight, I'm very, very excited because we have 2 of our coaches with us. I'll be introducing them very, very soon. So we do date coaching, we do image coaching as well. And of course, recently we also have launched our dating app. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to do, of course, is like I mentioned, I really, really want to invite 2 of our coaches who have joined us tonight. I think some of you might have met them. Let us know if you have met them before. Let us know in the chat right now. So I want to welcome Melinda and Renee. Yay! So please give them a warm welcome by saying hi to them in the chat right now. You can type hello. Yeah, Gordon say yes, I've met them. Okay, so don't be shy to say hi to them, you know, like, so Melinda and Renee, before we jump right into the topic tonight, do introduce yourself and also say hi to our community. So maybe we'll start off with Melinda.
Hello everyone. Hi, I am Linda, and it's been a long time, right? I'm so glad to be back here tonight with all of you. I am a branding and relationship expert, if some of you don't already know, with Lunch Actually, of course. I love working with people, and I get great satisfaction in helping each one of them, bringing out the best parts of them, whether on the outside or from within. So my recent very inspiring story is of a client who was very determined to change himself, like transform. because he realized that ladies were not attracted to his outdated style of dressing. So with the right guidance and of course the right mindset, which is very important, and his determination, he actually changed himself so fast. And I am so proud of him. And I must say that he is now happily dating.
Wow,
Hi,
Melinda,
hi.
thanks for that story. That's like super awesome. And I
Yes.
think, like that's also relate to one of the videos that maybe we have shown just now. I'm not sure whether today we showed that video. Like, I think when people transform themselves, it doesn't only just help them in their dating life, but it also help them in like the different aspects of their life as well, right? So thanks, Melinda, for sharing that with us. Yes, so over to you, Renee.
Hi, thank you, Violet. So I'm very excited to be back again here tonight. So my name is Renee. I'm a dating and relationship coach at Lunch Actually Coaching. So my dream is to help as many singles as possible to actually find love and also sustain it. I provide singles with the tools, the techniques, and the guidance that they need to actually make their dating and relationship goal come true. So recently, I actually have a client. She was struggling with getting commitment with a guy that she really likes, and they have been dating for quite a lot of months. Okay, but she couldn't get him to commit to her. They would meet up almost every week, but yet the guy never gave her any signs that he wanted to be committed to her. So I helped her. I gave her some tools and guidance on what to do. She applied them, and within a very short time frame, they are actually now dating exclusively.
Oh,
So I'm very
wow.
happy for them. Yes.
Awesome. Good job, Renee. Another success story. Yeah. So I think what our coaches do, like Melinda and Renee, I think it's really looking at the blind spots as well. Because I think a lot of times, like we keep doing the same thing. We're also not sure where we have gone wrong. And like to us, we are like, hey, actually I'm doing everything right. But I think sometimes we just need someone to just kind of look at the situation and say, hey, like did you realize that you are doing that? And sometimes we are not even aware of that as well. I mean, just like for myself, I have an executive coach that I work with, and sometimes I'm just stuck with some challenges. I just couldn't break through it. And then, I'll have a session with her and she'll be like, oh, she'll just ask me certain questions or just, like point to me like, oh, have you even considered that? So thanks Renee for sharing that. That's like super awesome. So like I mentioned, if you have any questions for our love experts tonight, do drop them in the Q&A box and we'll do our best to answer as many questions as possible. So without further ado, let us jump into the first topic. Okay, so the first topic, I think we have been asked this question many times by our clients, so I think definitely Renee and Melinda can totally attest to this. So not just those who are already married or in a relationship, but also for singles, right? I think who maybe have heard from their attached friends about maybe how their relationship is no longer exciting and full of passion as it used to be. So have you all heard this from your friends before? Let us know in the chat right now. Yes, no, maybe. Like have you have friends who are married or in a relationship, or maybe yourself, you have heard stories like, oh no, like we used to be so lovey-dovey, we used to be like, wow, like when it's just us, there's nobody else in the room, but now everything seems to be so stale and boring. Okay, so people are a bit shy, I think so far only a few people have said okay. So Gordon say I agree. Amy say familiarity breeds contempt. Wow, so serious. Okay, maybe that's something we can talk about as well. Yeah, Kang say need to commit together. Yeah, so I think quite a number of you have shared yes, you have heard about this before. So I think the question is, right, is it actually possible to make the honeymoon phase last throughout the relationship? Okay, so I think we are all curious, right? That's probably why we are here tonight at this webinar. So let's dive in. Okay, so Melinda, what exactly is the honeymoon phase? Okay, and then I think we'll also be exploring how long does it actually last.
Thank you, Violet. Maybe before I explain, can I hear from everyone who's here tonight, what do you guys think a honeymoon phase is? Yes, maybe, do we have a poll for this, Violet?
Yes, we do. Okay, let me help you up. Okay,
maybe
so
everyone.
I launch it. Yes.
Yes. So tell us, what do you think the honeymoon phase is? So is it number 1, when you are most lovey-dovey? Number 2, wow, very fast. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not going to read because the questions all the answers came in already. Yes. Wow. So Violet, I think we can end the poll. Yes? Yes.
Yeah, are you able to see the
I
percentage?
can't. Maybe Violet, can you give
Okay,
the
I'll share
results?
with you. Okay, so the results is okay lah. I think everybody just take the easy way out and say all of the above. 5% say all of the above. Okay, but I think if we take out the all of the above, the highest one is the second one, which is the feeling of wanting to be with each other all the time. That's 14%. Then followed by the next highest is when you are not at your most loving, patient, considerate, and attentive to your partner's needs. I think I've seen this joke sometimes. They say like, wow, at first the boyfriend is like, don't know what model. Then after that, when become husband, then it's another model already. I can't remember what they say, but it was quite funny. Then the next one is 7% when you are the most lovey-dovey towards each other. And last but not least, 3%, the period where your partner seems perfect and he or she has no flaws.
Yay. Thank you for all the responses, everyone. Well, they're all correct. So yes, so what is honeymoon? As what you have all like put on, it's correct. So all the above. And the word honeymoon is actually a modern version of the Old English term honeymoon. So it's spelled HONYMOONE. So it's still pronounced as honeymoon. Okay, so this refers to a fleeting sweetness of a new marriage. So actually, back in the centuries ago, at that time, people tended to use this phrase in a negative way to remind newlyweds that their current bliss would not last. So it makes sense that modern day English, we have added in the word phase at the end to further emphasize how brief this period can be. But nowadays, honeymoon phase does not only apply to marriages, but also to any relationships. So if you think about what it means, honeymoon phase is often spoken about as the most exciting time of any relationship when everything is new and euphoric. Your partner seems like the perfect person you've ever known. And both of you are still getting to know each other and you do all these lovey-dovey things together. And so everything your partner does cannot be wrong. From how they eat to the stories they tell is so charming and endearing.
And then after the honeymoon, then you're like, oh my goodness, always tell me the same story. Oh my goodness. Okay, but before we get there, so of course, like as what Melinda has shared, like even the later things, seem so new and cute. Okay, so I think Renee will help us answer the next question, right? Which is, how long does the honeymoon phase typically last? But before Renee answered that for us, we of course want to give you a chance to chip in as well. Okay, so you should see it in front of you right now, the poll. How long does the honeymoon phase last? Okay, all the answers are coming in. Yes, vote, vote, vote. This one should be easy. I just need to choose like one of the time frame. Okay, I'm going to end it soon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and okay. So this one have quite a clear winner. So about 40% of the room say up to 6 months. Okay, and then that's followed by 2 to 3 months, 24%, and then followed by up to 1 year, 20%. And next one is up to 2 years, that's 12%, and then 1 month, 6%. Okay, so Renee, what do you think?
They are not wrong. It's correct. It can be anywhere from a few months to about 2 years, according to experts, right? There is no fixed duration on when the honeymoon phase ends. It's around the time when actually both parties stop putting in the effort that was there in the beginning of the relationship. That's why when people who are constantly changing partners are often trying to remain in this stage. So what can you do at this stage is to enjoy it to the fullest. This is the stuff that makes dating so delightful and intriguing. At the same time, be aware of red flags. Take time to step back and actually observe your emotions, and your relationship and actively question, right, whether this person really is the best match for you. Go slow with making any big decisions too, because this stage can really fog our vision and make you want to dive into situations that might not actually be wise or healthy for you in the long run. In general, don't make decisions because you're so in love, because there's a temporary feeling of infatuation that will eventually fade.
So this is probably not the best time to go tattoo each other's name.
No.
Okay, so on that note, we also want to ask you our next poll, which is, what do you normally do on the honeymoon phase? We didn't put the option tattoo each other's name. Okay, so I'm going to launch it right now. What do you usually do on the honeymoon phase? Okay, so I think people are voting right now. Come, come, come. Vote. Please vote if you have not. Okay, I think almost half of the room have voted. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and okay. So again, this one overwhelmingly, half of the room say text and call each other at every chance you get. Wow, we know that feeling, right? Like what Renee have said. It's like it's really the like, wow, just want to stick together. Like every chance you have, like when you're at work, okay, now we all work from home, but last time, you'll be like, oh, faster go out so that your boss don't see you doing it, and then text each other. Okay, so the next one is 24% try new things together, okay, and then followed by 18% have romantic dates almost every day. Wow, yeah, so that's the time, it's like you just want to see each other all the time. And then of course plan a vacation together, that is 8%. And the one that only got one vote is meet each other's friends. So during honeymoon phase, don't want to see anybody else, just only want to see each other. Okay, so I think I actually agree, like honeymoon stage is like probably the most exciting stage in that sense. And then I think Renee is saying also, sometimes that's why like some people, they just enjoy the honeymoon stage so much that they just keep jumping from one relationship to the other, because like once the honeymoon stage of this relationship is over, they just want to go and find another relationship. Okay, so perhaps the biggest reason the honeymoon phase like maybe is so exciting is because we don't know each other that much yet. We don't know each other fully. So in that sense, like maybe all the positives, you are looking at a lot at the positives. We don't know so much about the negatives. So Melinda, for our singles and also like probably like people who are in relationships tonight, right? If they're still getting to know someone or getting into a new relationship, what are some of the tips that you have for them to enjoy this honeymoon phase to the fullest?
I do have some tips on how you can enjoy this stage, honeymoon stage, to the fullest. So number one, very important, make time for each other. Go on dates maybe 2 times a week or every weekend. This is really to show your commitment to each other and get you guys closer and strengthen your connection too. So the intention is really to spend time physically with each other. And I know, Violet, you and Jamie, even though you see each other every day at work, but and your honeymoon stage is probably way over, but I know both of you make sure to have that quality private time, right? Even from honeymoon to now.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we just had a quick dinner before this. Just two of us. Yes.
Do you talk about work?
No,
so that's not romantic, I think. Okay, so number 2, voice your appreciation. And this is something that you and your partner should practice daily. So if your partner picks you up, let him know how much you appreciate it. Because if you don't tell him, it's going to leave him feeling underappreciated and not treasured. Yeah, so that will actually make for a real decrease in your romance. And number 3, also very important, nurture yourself. So take care of yourself. Take time to treat yourself before your relationship can be beneficial in the long run. So instead of taking your bad day out at work, out at him, do something healthier, like go spa, facial, something just to make you happy, so that when you come together, and if it's even better if your partner does that too. So when both of you come together, you're much happier and healthier.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Melinda, for the useful tips. And I think the one that I really resonate with very much is really voice of appreciation, because I think that's so easy. Like after a while, like I think, and then sometimes people say that, oh, like I don't need to say it because they already know. I think even with family members, sometimes we just kind of like, oh, we don't really say thank you or things like that, because we are like, oh, like I love you, that I really appreciate you. But I agree with you that it's important that we say it, because I think sometimes if not, then we might end up like taking them for granted, or they might just not know, and then things will just go downhill from there. So I really love that tip over there. Okay, so I would like to play a little game here, before we go on to the next part. So do you guys know this game called Never Have I Ever? Yeah, I'm not sure whether you all know about this. So how it goes is like I'll say a sentence, okay, and then you have done it before, then you put up your hands and you have to share a bit about it, okay? So Melinda, Renee, and I are going to play this game because we thought, like we want to share a bit more, like so that you all can understand, how this kind of work, right? Okay, so of course, for the participants, we also would like you to participate. So after I say the sentence, if you have such an experience, do share with us in the chat as well, and then I'll share it with the rest of the room. Okay, so ladies, are we ready for Never Have I Ever?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, awesome. So the first question is, have you ever lost interest in your partner after the honeymoon phase ended?
Me. Melinda, can see or not?
Wow, you very fast. First one.
Very
Okay,
fast, very fast.
yes.
Answer
So
first.
you have to tell us about your experience.
Must okay. So obviously it's not a current relationship. So it was a long time ago. And like what we explained just now, so honeymoon stage is really getting to know someone, and I really got to know this person very fast. And he really didn't turn out the way I thought he was. I didn't. Yeah, he just was totally different. So the honeymoon phase was super short, like so short. It went downhill very fast, and then it just ended. Yes, almost immediately after the honeymoon ended.
Wow. Okay, so it's real. Losing
Yeah,
interest
very
in
real.
the partner after the honeymoon phase.
No
ended.
time to
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Melinda, for sharing. And then from our audience, our participants, we have Billy who say yes, Herman who say yes, and Gordon who say yes. Hey, how come all guys all the girls like never lost interest in the partner? Only Melinda is very honest.
Oh my god.
Okay, awesome. Okay, next question. Okay, have you ever had a crush on someone else other than your partner after the honeymoon phase ended? Wow, interesting. Okay.
Yes, it's me.
Oh, wow.
Renee
Okay.
here.
Interesting. Come, tell us, Renee.
Yes, it's also it happened quite a long time ago, back when I was in university. So I was dating this guy, so we really liked each other. But that time I didn't know what is honeymoon, so obviously it ended. And then the honeymoon phase ended. What happened was I started losing uh, uh I started having crush on other people. Crushes on other people, but I was very confused at that time because I was quite young. So I was very confused why I was like that. And then but I didn't act on it. I didn't act on it. I was very honest as well. I told him. So we tried other things, we tried doing things more often together, try new things to like reignite the spark. But at the end, actually, it didn't happen. We broke up. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think Renee, you are so like so ahead of the curve, and that's why now you're a dating coach. Like, oh, even then you try to reignite the spark. Very good. Okay, and then let's look at our participants. So okay, let's see. Billy say yes again. Gordon also say yes again. This time we have Leo who say yes and put up her hands. Then Jessica say, make me wonder what made the guys lose interest, and only the guys answered low. Okay, so maybe all the guys who have answered, you all can share like what made you lose interest. And then Herman say, yup, eventually beauty is not essential for sure. Interesting. So I'm not sure whether that answers your question, Jessica. Okay, so now we are up to our third statement. Okay, so those of you in the audience who have never said yes or no, this is your chance already. Okay, so the next one is, Have you ever started comparing your partner with someone else after the honeymoon phase? Oh, okay, the audience sure didn't say yes. Oh, so both of you don't have. Both of you don't have, then have to be me already. Okay, so okay, so yeah, I think also like one of my relationships so I mean obviously like Melinda said, it's not my current relationship. So also same thing like Renee, it was during my university days. I think the honeymoon phase was also quite short. I mean, honestly, that whole relationship was very short because unfortunately it was actually a rebound. So I think once we were out of the honeymoon phase, then I'm like, oh my goodness, like how come I'm with this person, and then like I started like then comparing with my last relationship again, like oh, it's just very bad. Now come to think about it, I also feel very bad. Yep. So yeah, all of these things is very real. So let's see. Wow, this one a lot of people have leh. So let's see, wow, this one really a lot of people have. It seems that it's very common to compare compare your partner with someone else after the honeymoon phase. Really a lot. Shilin say yes, Joseph say yes, Gordon, Billy, then okay, but someone say no, so loud. Okay, and then some people say no, then Ida say yes, well, and then Leah say maybe yes. Not sure why maybe, but okay. So thanks guys for participating. I hope that give you an idea of things that actually can happen after the honeymoon phase. So now we are going back to Renee, who will be sharing with us about what we can do when the honeymoon phase ends.
Yes. So when the honeymoon phase is over, it may feel like a bubble pop, like pop, it's gone. Because at this stage, you begin to see that your partner is imperfect. You start to notice there are a lot of differences between you and your partner. And then conflict will start to creep in. For example, you may feel the need, to fight and defend your own values, which may actually translate into the desire to have everything your own way. But this stage is very, very normal, and it's an important step to make the relationship grow. Because long-term relationships, right, start to build when the honeymoon phase actually fades out. Just because the honeymoon is over, it doesn't mean that the relationship is over. Maybe Melinda can share with us what to do when it ends.
Thank you, Renee. Unfortunately, after the honeymoon stage, right, relationships often end because one person decides that they made a selection mistake. So if you can accept each other's flaws, you can progress to the next level. And so what you can do is learn conflict management skills because they are essential really not just for work purposes, in your personal relationships as well. So, learn how to treat each other with care and respect. You need to learn how to identify also the differences between healthy disagreements and unhealthy control issues. So if it's like, healthy disagreement, you still can work that through. But if it's unhealthy control issues, then yes, maybe you should break up. And because this stage is where you are really recognizing your differences, this second stage of a relationship is a really good time to learn your love languages. And there are 5 love languages. And it's very important that each person knows how their partner wants to receive love. So do you guys know what the 5 love languages are? Type in the chat box. Let's see. Type. Do all of you know what are the 5 love languages?
Yeah, you can just type 1 or 2, or you can type all if you know all of them.
Yes, physical touch, I saw, words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, touch. Yeah, almost everything, quality time. Yeah, they cover all 5. Very good. Wow, everybody, very good. All know their work very well. Pass, all pass. Okay. Okay, so yes, that's right. So knowing your partner's love language is very important to keep your sparks going. So for example, if your partner's love language is physical touch, maybe you can give him a massage. If they love receiving gifts, you can give them a love letter or a special gift that you know they like, or something that you have memories together. There are so many ideas.
Wow, very good. I love that, Melinda. So I'm also curious to know from you guys, right? Like, what was the most thoughtful thing that your loved ones have actually done for you, and how did it make you feel? So I think, you know, like maybe you can relate it to your love language as well. Like, so probably like, let's say like what Melinda has mentioned just now, if you are physical touch or you are like gift or quality time, like what is actually the most thoughtful thing to that your that your loved one has given to you. Okay, so we have from Hong, very interesting, leave me alone, very thoughtful to give personal space. I think as funny as it is, I think it is quite important sometimes. Like I think especially for guys, right, they need to like kind of go into their man cave, and I think it's important that we kind of like know when to give them that time. And I think we talked about this in some of our previous webinar as well, right? Which is like kind of like a rubber band, like you need to know when to pull it, and you know, like kind of when to like just kind of like, you know, let it to just like, you know, loose or chill out a bit. Okay, so let's see, we have a hug from behind. So I think probably this person's is touch. And then we have Evelyn who asks, how do we discover their love language? Okay, I think this one is something that you can observe from what they say, or even observe how they express their love. Yeah, so if you go to the website, Five Love Languages, they would actually give some pointers on what to check out for, to observe, you know, what the other person's love language is. Eileen say a hug without a word. Shilin say handmade card with our photo. So like maybe Shilin's love language is gift, or it could also be words of affirmation depending on, you know, what is said on the card. Yes. So I think that's great. You know, thanks all for sharing. And I think we all definitely all agree that we feel very loved when our partner does something special for us. So, you know, let's continue to definitely take the time and effort to make our partner feel loved and important as well, and not just during the honeymoon phase. So Melinda, please do continue with your advice.
And another tip that I love to share with my clients is plan secret dates that are different from your routine. You know, the most precious gift that you can give to anyone, especially your loved one, is your time. So, yep, we are all busy with work, stuff, you know, we have to do, but really spare your time to, you know, go on a date and reconnect again. And I think it can be really exciting, you know, if you surprise your partner with secret dates where maybe both of you can dress up, you know, have a romantic night out, so that it can remind you of that early magic you both had. Renee, what about you? Do you have more tips?
Yes, I do have some tips. Yes. So I think one of the most common issues, right, that we all face is that we see it quite I think when we go to a restaurant, we see it everywhere. We see that couples are always on their phone, even they are on a date. Anyone here that is guilty, you know? So remember when you first went on a few dates, right? The first few dates with your partner, you probably did not have like your face buried on your phone, in your phone. You paid close attention, right, to him or her, and acted in a manner that showed how much you truly care, what they had to say. So take the time to intently listen to your partner, because it can have profoundly positive impact on closeness and connection. So regardless of how long you guys have been together or how well you think you know your partner, if your partner initiates a conversation, it's best to actually stop what you are doing and make eye contact with this person you once adored. As they share their thoughts, right, and feelings with you, truly focus on what they have to say, you know. Remind yourself that since what they are saying feels important enough for them to share with you, they deserve your undivided attention. At the same time, if like the timing is not good for you, you could tell them, you know, respectfully tell them, I really want to hear what you have to say, but I need a few minutes. And then in order to be able to give you my full attention, would that be okay? Tell them like that. Then be sure to keep your promise after that to return to the conversation and listen to them attentively. Give them your undivided attention. Another tip that I have is really give each other space, because sometimes we need time away to truly miss our partner and to remember what we have at home waiting for us as well. So distance can really help revitalize a flatlining relationship. This does not mean it's the first step of growing a partner, because it just means that you need a little space for you and your partner to miss each other a little. When you find like a bad pun or an inside joke, right, you want to share, and you notice the person is not around, it makes you appreciate them a little more.
Wow, thanks for that, Renee. And I totally agree with what you said about becoming a good listener. You know, like you say, listen attentively. I think that's so important. And I think in this day and age, sometimes it's very easy for us to just kind of like bury ourselves into the phone. So I think that definitely I agree. Like this is something that you see around you when you go to restaurants, and then like people are not even talking to each other, be it like couples or be it families. Like everybody is just, you know, on the phone. So I think definitely being present is very important, like being fully engaged. So I think like what you have said just now, like it's okay if, like, let's say the timing is not right, like maybe you are just in the midst of a very important call for work, you know, your boss really need to talk to you at that moment. Yeah, but like you say, you know, just let them know that, okay, I really want to hear what you have to say, but just give me a few moments to wrap it up. So I think that's great. That's like super important. And I think, you know, like at the end of the day, one of the things I realized is also to just acknowledge that this is what is happening. Because I think sometimes, like, if we don't acknowledge it, we can't do something about it. So to like what we are discussing today, like, you know, like honeymoon phase is real, like it does end. And then we just need to acknowledge that, okay, that's just how it is. But it doesn't mean that the relationship is coming to an end. It's just about, okay, you know, like all the crazy chemicals in my head now, you know, like maybe have like calmed down a bit, and I'm no longer just in the infatuation stage, but, you know, like this is real. I want to be in this relationship. So I'm just going to acknowledge that this is happening, but, you know, let's look at what we can do about it. And I think just with like this simple step, it will really help us to bring our relationship to the next level, even though the honeymoon phase has kind of ended. Okay, so before we go to Q&A, maybe we just want to also hear from our audience or participants tonight, right? Like, what have you, what is the biggest takeaway that you heard from our coaches tonight? Like, what is the one thing that you're like, oh wow, okay, that really makes sense? Let us know in the chat right now. So let me see, you know, like what are some of the other things that you guys have brought up, and I'm also just going to look at the Q&A as well. Oh wow, there's quite a number of Q&A that have come up. Okay, yeah, so let us know right now, you know, like what are like some of the tips that you are like, okay, it makes a lot of sense, you know, I'm really going to do something about it. Okay, so from Eileen, make time for each other. Definitely. YY say give each other space. So I think this is something that our coaches have mentioned, and I think one of our participants have mentioned just now. Caroline say voice appreciation. Yeah, really just appreciating each other. Evelyn also say give each other space, giving each other attention. Don't always just be on the mobile. Gordon say how to manage after the honeymoon phase. Shilin say the part we are having a bad day, just go to the spa. Very good tip from Melinda. They are totally agree. Like, you know, like don't go and bend it out on like your partner, right? Just go to the spa and enjoy. Janelle say treat each other with care. Awesome, very good. Like I realized when it comes to like what is the biggest takeaway, then a lot of our ladies like all start answering. Very good. Okay, so I think, you know, like rather than focusing too much on, you know, like just the honeymoon stage, like, because we all know that honeymoon stage will actually come to an end. Like, so be it it's 1 month or be it it's 2 years, right? It does come to an end. So I think rather than just focusing so much on like how am I going to maintain the honeymoon stage, I think you know, like let's practice all the advice that Melinda and Renee have actually shared with us tonight, in order to make our partner feel loved. So, you know, like what you guys have been sharing just now, right? Spend more time with them, fight in a healthy way, and also realize that yeah, love is like, it could be a feeling, but actually it's also a commitment lah. Because I think if you just keep thinking like, okay, you know, like honeymoon phase, that's when we feel the love, and then after the honeymoon phase we don't feel the love anymore, then we just want to break up, like that's not going to work as well, right? So I think when it comes to establishing a healthy and lasting relationship, there are 6 key elements that every couple needs in their relationship. So we have communication. So definitely we need to constantly be talking to each other lah. So I think like what Melinda has mentioned just now. So like for my husband Jimmy and myself, like we do communicate a lot, and sometimes it's like even for a couple that communicate so much like us, right? Like we realize that we do get I would say vary in work sometimes, or like we just end up like maybe talking about the kids. So it is a conscious effort to make sure that even though we are communicating, we are not just communicating about every other thing under the sun, but also communicating about the relationship as well. So having a strong connection. So it's important. I think this part is really about finding the person that is really right for you lah. Because I think a lot of times, like sometimes, you know, we know of people who they focus on like maybe the wrong things. They focus more on the more superficial criteria rather than the significant criteria. So I think if you are making the right choices when you are choosing a partner, and you are choosing based not just on superficial but also on significant, then it will help with you, both of you having a stronger connection. So I always say that I think I'm very blessed, and one of the things that I'm just very happy about is that I married my best friend. So I think, you know, like even when the so-called honeymoon phase has passed and things like that, like we still just have so much in common, be it our interests, be it our values, and that's why we continue to have a very strong connection, like, you know, after being together for like 21 years. Commitment, definitely. So I mean, I always say like love is not just a feeling, it's actually a choice. So I think the fact that we have decided to be committed to each other, and I think some of you have mentioned in chat just now as well, so that is definitely one of the things that will help the relationship to keep going. And of course, all these very big words, right, like communication, connection, commitment, but don't forget to have fun. You know, that's very important. So like I mean, if it's all serious, then like we also might be like, oh wow, I feel so stifled, right? So, you know, like in any relationship, like whatever fun it is to you, right, like always remember to have fun with each other. And growing together is important. And I think just now, one of the options that we talked about was that learning something new together. So I think when you grow together, definitely that will help in a relationship as well. And last but not least, of course, in any relationship, trust is very important. So I think we all know that once trust is broken, it takes a lot of time and effort to man it back. Not that it's impossible, but definitely it's a lot more difficult to man it back, right? So I think communication and trust come hand in hand. So I think the more we communicate, the more open, more honest we are, that will help to build trust as well. Okay, so now we're going to look at all the questions that you have for us. So Melinda and Renee, get ready. Okay, I'm going to say which one is for you guys lah. Then you can have some time to think about it while I'm reading it out. Okay, so first question. Okay, so this is for Melinda. What signs should we look out for that indicate that the honeymoon phase is ending soon?
Wow. Okay, signs. I think the obvious ones are, of course, you know, you don't communicate much anymore, like what you mentioned, Violet. So when you stop talking to each other, or you talk very briefly, I think these are an indication already. In fact, it's a very big indication when you stop talking to each other lah. Yeah. Then, and of course, when you start not to hang out with each other as much also. So then you start seeing each other less. Maybe once in 2 weeks, then after that it becomes once in 3 weeks, then once in 4 weeks, and then, you know, before you know it, a month passed and you didn't even see each other, and then you all don't even miss each other. So that's very obvious. Your honeymoon is almost, you know, coming to an end, or it has ended. Yeah, then time to really, like, you know, reflect and come together again to reconnect. Yeah, so I think the main ones are just spending time and communication.
Thank you, Melinda.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think on that note, right, because I think Melinda talked about frequency, so there's a question here for Renee. So is it true that if couples meet less frequently, right? So for example, instead of every day, they just meet once a fortnight, would that help to make the honeymoon period longer? Because like maybe our partners remain mysterious and we discover their faults slower. But like, let's say if we meet very frequently, we meet like 3 times a week, right? Then maybe the honeymoon would be faster, will be over faster. So what do you think? Is that true?
It can be true. It can be true. But at the same time, I believe is trying new things together as well. Trying new things together, exploring new things. Sometimes you realize other side of that person, more new things about that person, which is exciting. Then it actually lasts longer. The honeymoon phase actually lasts longer as well. Yes.
Okay, so hope that answers your question. Okay, so another question here from Billy. So Melinda, this is for you. Are there no compromise between the person we love and the person who is suitable for us?
Wow, let me try to understand that question. No compromise between the person we love. That means
So
there is a
I
person.
think maybe what Billy is trying to say is like maybe the person that he loved might be different from like the person that's suitable for him lah, maybe.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Compromise. Unfortunately, there is no factory that we can make our perfect partner. I always tell everybody that. So I think, unfortunately, we do have to compromise that, in my opinion. Yeah, I think that you will probably find something that you will love about this person who's meant for you. Because if he's meant for you, probably there is something. That's why he's meant for you. Yeah. So I think you will have to take effort to really find that out, and not only just be hung up with the one that you have feelings for, because you could possibly develop feelings for this person who's meant for you as well.
Thank you, Melinda. And I think like when you were answering this question, I think there's this quote that kind of came to my mind. So happiness is wanting what you have, not having what you want.
Yes, I agree with that. Very profound.
Okay, so on to the next question. So this one is for you, Renee. After the honeymoon phase ended, you realize your partner's conflict management is being avoidant. How do you reach out or reconnect?
Yes. So when it comes to avoidant attachment, the more you actually, the partner is avoidant, right? Not her, right?
Yeah. The partner's conflict management is avoidant lah. So basically, it's like
Yes.
every time they quarrel or whatever, then the person will just avoid.
Yeah. So the more you reach out to someone that has avoidant attachment, what happens is that he will pull away further and further away. So the best is actually give him a timeout period, like let him calm down, because they will come to their senses of what they actually really want. So give him time, give him some space, and actually when he comes back, tell him like what you really want, like what you want, and not so that he don't feel interrogated. Tell him what you want and ask him what about you, like that. So he can have the space and actually also come back to you in this.
Thank you, Renee. Okay, so let me see. There's another one, actually quite a lot of questions. Okay, so Melinda, this one is for you. I've been ghosted 4 times after we matched each other via a dating app. As a guy, I usually break the ice by stating, "Hi there, thanks for connecting and nice to meet you. Can you tell me more about yourself?" But no reply since. As you know, the chat box is only open for 7 days. May I know what went wrong? Yeah, but I mean, like Renee, feel free to chip in as well.
I think this topic we talk we talk about it a lot, and I think we probably have like coaching sessions, and we have even other topics, something like this, talking about this. Yeah, so very common. I think this is very common. And first of all, I mean, just to be very direct at what you just typed or you shared with us about, "Hi there, thanks for connecting and nice to meet you." It's quite boring lah. So straight to the point. I mean, fast and effective. Yes, it's really not going to encourage someone to really want to talk to you. I think really the quickest way is really just to point out something that you notice about this lady's profile, and just bring it up. And then use that as a topic opener rather than just a very generic, "Hi, how are you?" I think most people will probably receive 100 of such message, especially if she's attractive. So I would say just make yourself stand up. Say something interesting and fun. Yeah. Then probably someone may reply. Try. Well, try many times. Try with many profiles. So if one didn't work, try with another one. Then refine your sentence and try again. Just keep trying till you get a response.
Yes.
Yes.
I totally agree with Melinda. Yes, you need to point out something that is in their profile and also make them curious, like, have I seen you before? Things like that. Make them curious so that they will reply so you can stand out. Yes.
Yeah. So actually, like what Melinda has mentioned, we do have quite a number of webinars previously that cover this. So you can have a look at that. Okay,
Mhm.
so I'll take one last question. Wow, we have many questions tonight. Like everything seems very like I need to choose one question. Okay, so how to know you are in a toxic relationship during the honeymoon phase? Yeah, so who would like to take this? Renee? How to know you are in a toxic relationship during the honeymoon phase?
Mm. Yes, so this one is a little bit tricky because during the honeymoon phase, we are having so much fun. We're so in love. Yeah, so a lot of things is very foggy. We can't really see it. Yeah, but I think one of it is really observing how that person is does that person only take and not give, you know? Always only take and request a lot and can be quite demanding as well at times. I think that is one of the telltale sign. What do you think, Melinda?
Yeah, I agree. I think also to really sometimes take a step back and really think for yourself. Are you feeling happy? Because if it's a toxic relationship, I think there will be times when you will probably question yourself. You'll probably wonder, why did he say that? Or why am I
Mm,
feeling sad? So there are times like this. These are probably little signs, and that is when you should actually step back a little bit and really pull yourself out of that lovey-dovey feeling, and really just have clear eyes and think a bit more. In fact, I think a good way is also if you have a good friend, your friend probably could see things a bit clearer than you being out of this relationship. But of course, it's always not good to put someone else in. But I mean, this is really if you cannot tell for yourself, but you have doubts, then maybe why not just to talk to someone.
Yeah, those are great tips. And I think if I would add on to what Melinda has mentioned as well, I think like seeing whether you are happy, I think that's a very good gauge, because I think like we know that honeymoon phase is like the phase that you're supposed to be like super happy, right? And then if you find yourself like being like unhappy, or you keep double guessing yourself as well, like, so I think a lot of times when you're in a toxic relationship, like the person will end up gaslighting you a lot. Like you constantly will be like thinking like, hey, am I right or am I wrong? Like, is this true or is it not true? So if you find yourself constantly being in such a situation and like keep like kind of like tiptoeing around the person, or like keep walking on eggshells, like not knowing, okay, like did I do something wrong, or is this right? Like you find yourself keep constantly need to please the other person, chances are you are in a toxic relationship. Yeah. Okay, so thank you guys for being with us, for the last hour, and thank you for the many questions. We are sorry that we couldn't answer all of them, but not to worry. Like you can always just drop us an email at love@lunchtree.com, and we'll do our best to see how we can help to address your question. So as always, we always have a special gift prepared for you. So tonight's webinar gift is actually a free ebook on how to rekindle sparks in your relationship. So if you think about it, it's very relevant to tonight's topic, because we just talked about honeymoon phase. So if like, let's say your honeymoon phase has ended or is going to end, how you can actually rekindle the sparks in your relationship. So, if you are interested, please do go to the link that is going to be put up now to get a free ebook. And I also need to tell you something very special that's happening like right now, actually. So maybe you can let me know in the chat right now, right? So how many of you are actually our Lunch Actually member, or like if you are not a Lunch Actually member, maybe just say yes or no lah. So if you're a Lunch Actually member, you can say yes. If you're not a Lunch Actually member, you can say no. Okay, so seems like it's quite a mix, like no, yes, yes. Okay, so I think it's quite a mix lah. Okay, So we have a special promo for those who are not our members. So if you are joining at this moment, we are actually having a special promo, which is we are going to give you an additional virtual date. Okay, so when you sign up as a member, you actually get an additional virtual date. So I think if you have not tried it before, virtual date is actually quite fun and time efficient. I mean, of course, you know, like if you're able to meet in person, that's great. But I think you all know with the current situation, it's a bit challenging sometimes to meet in person. So if you are going to sign up with us, you are going to get an additional free virtual date. So, you know, do find out more if you're interested. For singles in Hong Kong, we're also not forgetting you, okay, because the free virtual date are for people who are signing up in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand. So for Hong Kong, you can also get a free one-to-one coaching session with our date coach as well, okay? So this is exclusive only for the participants in tonight's webinar. So don't miss out on the chance to get all of these special gifts, okay? So you can go to the link that is put out right now to submit your contact details to redeem the special gift for tonight, which is the free ebook on how to rekindle the sparks in your relationship. Okay, so I also want to share with you our next webinar. Okay, so our next webinar is very, very interesting because we are going to have a special guest from US. Her name is Dr. Terry Obach. She has actually written many dating books, relationship books, and she will be here and she'll be sharing with us on never waste time on the wrong partner again. Okay, so I think we talked about just now our matching philosophy is really about being the right one, meeting the right one, and choosing the right one. So I think, you know, like what Dr. Terry will really be sharing with us is like how can you make sure that you don't keep choosing the wrong one, because I'm sure, you know, this is like maybe the theme of some of our lives or like maybe our friends' life. Okay, so you can sign up now at lunchwithy.com/webinar. Okay, so wow. Okay, it's already 10:01. Okay, so ladies, I think you guys better go get some rest. I maybe will stay on a little bit more to just very quickly answer some of the other questions, if possible. And I also want to take this opportunity, of course, to thank all our ladies who's backstage, Christina and also Melinda, who have been working, you know, very, very hard to make sure our webinars get delivered every single time. So please, you know, do give my thanks to, you know, all the ladies who are here with us for helping make this happen. Yeah, so thank you guys.